How about now? Does that work? Yeah, well, watch for the... The hard thing is also there's that latency. So yeah, 10 minutes from now you can be like, yeah, it's coming through, and I'll give up and be, whoops. Still no. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. That sounds good. I have no idea what the last thing is that any of you heard. Let's see here. Did everyone already see the information about the mini Pip Boy? We'll find out here. Apple Pie says yes, no. Hello, Xavier. How's it going? No, you didn't hear about the mini Pip Boy? Did anyone hear anything tonight? All right, first. I should hide everything. Oh, should put it all back away. So the whole thing that was inside of the inside that box, which was in that picture you might have seen, that whatever it was fit inside this box, right? And of course somebody guessed maybe it'd be empty. It is now because I already took out what it was. So in the end, after saying I probably wouldn't get one because I had such a nice setup with the Pip Boy and the Pip Boy case that it came with, which is an awesome case. If you haven't seen it, it's pretty neat. It has all this cool artwork on it and things. In fact, this one right here, somebody said that theirs broke. This one right here is not the same one that I had that came with my kit. But I wanted to kind of have one that I could transport things in without it getting ruined. And so I got this one as well. But also, as I was going through and working on different projects, which is the main reason why I haven't, there's a bit of echo. Is there an echo? We love echo. Well, let me see if I can turn off that echo. Of course I can't hear. Oh, I know why. Maybe. Let's see. Is there still echo? Can you still hear? Oh, I know the other reason, possibly, that there is some echo. It might be. Let me try this. How's that? Is that any better? A little better? Not as much echo? How about if I turn this down a little bit too? Right about to there. How's that? A bit better? Kind of better? Okay. Way better. Oh, good. Okay. That was much. So I think the reason is because I had the camera and the mic. We were playing around with it earlier, trying to get things to work, and I ended out hooking up the mic to the computer, and then also had the camera still connected by HDMI. So you missed the start of the live stream? Oh man! And because you were playing Fallout 76, I'm sorry. Actually, there wasn't really much to see because everything didn't start working until a few minutes ago. So if you just now start joining us, man, you're in luck. But one of the main reasons why I haven't been posting videos recently is because I had a lot of things that kind of split my attention. I was initially just going to be working on an Iron Man, Iron Giant. I also have an Iron Man thing, the video that we're going to be posting, but an Iron Giant post that has there's a diorama, and I actually started working on it last year, and it was working on it with an existing Iron Giant that I had that was about this tall, and decided that I was going to look for some extra parts because his arm was missing, and I thought, well, maybe I can find that piece because the toy store that made that original one that I had doesn't exist anymore. And what I found out was that there was another one that was coming out, which I put over. Let's put over here. And so I bought this actually at the end of last year. Pre-ordered it, and it was supposed to come out this year. Apologize for the color too. It's very blue for some reason today, but I try to fix that. But anyway, but yeah. So I saw this, and it was supposed to be coming out in March, and then because of COVID, it got delayed. But this one's by Select Toys. It is. I got it through Big Bad Toy Store, and this one is probably easier to see here on the back. He articulates throughout the entire body, including the jaw, which was something that was hard to find with a lot of the other toys in the past for the Iron Giant because they were fixed. And so this one you can fully pose. Everything on it fully poses. Its eyes light up. The sign on the front is magnetic so it can stick on. They have different hand positions for ones that you can't pose. And then in the corner here you can see this is to scale at itty bitty teeny tiny Hogarth. And so yeah, pretty cool. I was pretty excited about making that. And so that was my original plan, was I was going to finish up that project, which I have about 30 Hot Toys that I purchased for it in order to make this pile that it's going to be sitting on top of. And then I got distracted. I got distracted because here we are 1 year, literally today is 1 year from the day that I finished my Pip Boy 2000. And I finished it in time for us to be able to use it at a party for Halloween. And I wore it to that party in its initial form, fully working. And so I thought, well, I ought to make a third video. That's why I renumbered things. There is a third video coming out. I have figured out a way to get a Geiger counter inside. It's still true what I said. It's not going to measure a whole lot, but I did also get for a needle to work even better. I figured out how to make a needle run from the bottom and make it go upward. That might not sound like a big deal, but it is. It's hard to find. And I also figured out how to have it do other sounds and do some other things, light up. I figured out how to make the rolling clock work on the clock portion, the button to light up. So literally I'm going to finish off the entire Pip Boy, and that'll be kind of the last I'll probably do with that, with the Pip Boy 2000. You know, the TV series is coming out pretty soon, and they'll probably introduce a new Pip Boy, I would guess. Who knows what kind of style they're going to go with, maybe something lower profile. But I also got more interested in, well, I really like small things. I like trying to make miniatures of things that I like that work. And so I agree, Iron Giant is a national treasure. Really, Vin Diesel was the voice to Iron Giant? I didn't know that, if that's true. At any rate, so the thing about it is I decided I wanted to make some parts to the Pip Boy at half the scale. And so I decided, all right, I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I did. Half the scale, a working Pip Boy with a light-up screen, not just light-up screen, but an actual working device, just like I did with the other one. And I've already started making and printing pieces. And I don't know if you already saw this part, because I don't know what was streamed initially, but this right here is the case for it. And so, yeah, half the scale of the original. And on the front, when you push a button, which is located in the center of that logo, it plays, it's going to play different tunes, and it's going to also have some messages that it'll play. I also, on this, just to give you an idea of how small this is, I did post a picture of the radio and the way it looks, but this right here is the little plaque on the top of the Pip Boy, if you can see that. And so, pretty cool. But at any rate, yeah, everything works on it. It will light up. I also made, do I have the batteries down here? I don't have the batteries. I even made a miniature version of the batteries and things like that. So that'll come out pretty soon too. I'm going to release that video more than anything to show how I make miniatures and how I do 3D prints, because I get frustrated when I see other people's 3D prints. It seems like when people make things using a 3D printer, they just want to do everything using a 3D printer. And so, you know, they might use different plastics, PLA, but at the same time they have everything is made using that. And so you can tell it's 3D printed. A lot of times they don't do the right things to treat it and to paint it. And so you can also see the lines. And so I'm going to show how I do mine and how I prevent some of those problems. But at any rate, I know the stream's a little bit behind. It does look like a music box, doesn't it? What's cool about it, the other thing I didn't show you, the bottom right now is gecked up, whoops, a little bit. But at the same time, in the bottom is where the speaker goes. I pulled off, I originally had a different bottom to it and decided I wanted to do a couple other things, so I had to pull it off. So it got all glued. That's glue that you see all around here. But it's in the shape of the Robco symbol is the speaker holes. And so I even stuck with that theme on the area that you won't see on it. But anyway, the other thing is I've been working on Pip Boy 3000. I'll show you how I have one and it's on the stand, but I don't like the fact that you have to open up the thing every single time to turn on the phone. I don't like the fact that I can't charge the phone inside. I don't like the fact that there's some areas that aren't lit up that they could have easily lit up because it uses a 3-volt battery with 2 small lights that honestly you could have fit 2 more lights easily to light up the rad meter, or the Geiger counter, sorry, and the and what else? The radio that's not lit up. So I'll show how I'm gonna modify that pretty simply. So you can turn on the phone, you can charge it just by putting it onto the base. The base will actually charge it, so I'll turn that existing base into a charger. So that's some of the things I'm going to show there. And then some other projects I have going on. I have a mecha project that I'm going to probably release really quick because that one's a very fast build, just to kind of show some things in relation to some of the Gundam things and the mecha stuff. The Iron Man set that I've been promising that I would actually review and show you. That's 4 and a half feet wide and about 3 feet tall, and I think about 3 feet deep is how deep it was. It's over there actually. And so I'll show how I did that and how I do also miniature photography. I have an Indiana Jones build. I should say I have 3 characters or 3 figures that I have from 3 of the major companies that make those figures, as well as a custom piece that I'll use to make my own figure. So I'm going to show how to basically custom build a figure. Then I'll also I have a Portal diorama that I've been sitting on forever. Borderlands 3, for you Borderlands 3 people. This right now, or at least it was, when I purchased it, I think it was $20. And very easy, I think, to modify it. I'm going to modify it so that not only can I play games on it, but also it will act as a working radio for being able to transmit and receive from another, say, walkie-talkie. And so trying to make it look and work a little bit more like it does in the game. And I have a Star Trek thing I'm doing, a Star Wars thing, a Doctor Who thing. And I'll show some video that I have never posted before in relation to that. Umbrella Academy. I mean, there's several projects that I had going on, and all these things, honestly, I've started working on, and it was just too hard to narrow it down and stay focused enough to get a video done. So that's where I've been. That's what's been going on up to this point. The other big things are related to next week. Sorry, I'm checking up on the messages you're sending as I'm going. Some other things are happening next week. I'm interviewing two people, or I should say three people actually. Two interviews that I'm doing. One with Lori Nix and with Kathleen Gerber. If you've ever seen, if you want to look them up, their photographs are amazing. And what they do is they build miniatures of post-apocalyptic scenes, and then they photograph them. And these aren't anything small in its scale. In fact, the first time I saw a couple of their pictures, I thought that they were full-scale pictures. One of them was of a laundromat, and another one, I don't remember what the other one was, but they both looked really high detail. They also made one of their own workspace and went through and created, like, all the DVDs that they had on the shelf, or sorry, all the CDs that she had on the shelf. She went through and actually scanned every single CD that she had, the artwork that was from them, and then made these little cases. And so putting that much detail, some of which you can't even see, is in there. And so now at this point in time, they've become famous not only for that, but they actually do a lot of advertisements and things that you might have seen on TV or streaming. So I'm pretty excited about that one. The other one that a lot of you might be more familiar with is Dan Lanigan. I'll be interviewing him next Thursday. And so Dan's the one who has a show right now on Disney Plus called Prop Culture, in which he goes through and tracks down a lot of props from Disney, of course, based movies, and then reconnects them with a lot of the stars and people that, you know, had initially been in those films, so they can talk a little bit more about them. And it's a great show. But he is one of the biggest collectors. And when I say biggest, I mean the guy is also, he's really tall. And so, but he has the original Indiana Jones 3 hat and whip. He has all the costumes, I think, from things like Hellboy and from, I don't know, pretty much anything. It seems like he owns something from everything. And if there's a prop that is most desired, probably he's the one that owns it. And he just has them sitting out. He doesn't put them into, like, you know, cases, or I never see them stowed away. They're always sitting either just there in the background, or they're laying on his dining room table, stuff like that. And so he also produced the Futurama, the live version, Futurama, the Fanorama, if you ever saw that. And so, everyone that I interview, I've communicated with for a while before I interview them. So, like Dan, I've been communicating with now for a couple weeks. You know, Lori for a few months. But when I first contacted Dan, I said I always share at least a couple things from our site. But at the same time, when he wrote me back, he said, "Wow, it's really weird timing that you're writing me, because." Just last week, I purchased the Pip Boy 2000 and put it together, and I was looking for a working screen, and so he reviewed the video before I contacted him. But at any rate, so yeah, we talked a little bit about that. But he also told me, because I asked him about all the Futurama stuff. In case you didn't know, they also built a full-blown set and the deck of their ship, full scale, inside the studio. And I knew he had some of the props. I knew that he had some of the costumes, some of the props. They had a bender that's remote controlled that stars in the show. He has that. The Hypnotoad, which is what I asked him about, which looks amazing. But I asked him if he still had the Hypnotoad, and he said, unfortunately, I have a hard time letting things go, and So he said he has everything. He has the set still, like everything is still there. I'm gonna double check it with him next week, but that's what he told me. So, so I'm curious if the set is still standing. But at any rate, oh, I'm gonna catch you up a little bit here. So, thanks, Connor. Raw moments. Do you know Joe? Jack Lee. Thanks for reminding me to rehydrate. Yeah, boy. You know, the reason that I keep a lot of liquid actually now next to me is because after I did the interview with Chris, as I was watching that video, the thing that bothers me the most, actually there's a few things that always bother me about my videos, even though I go back and I do watch my own videos a lot because it's the way I relive the builds. But my tongue or something on my mouth was clicking throughout the entire thing because I didn't drink anything during that filming, and so yeah, I need to try to do that more. Anyway, you get Jeff. Thanks. You know, the other thing I've noticed lately, because I've been able to interview a few people from England and Australia now, and some people that have also interviewed me. And the thing I love that I don't understand here in the United States, for some reason, we call these plates, like the one I showed you earlier, aluminum, which sounds very cheap and not as special as the way that I hear them say it is aluminium. Aluminium. Sounds a lot more fancy, doesn't it? I love that, aluminium. But at any rate, so I don't even think it's, I don't know, spelled that way, but let's see here. So yeah, I have these things that are coming up, and then I decided, well, to hold you over, I thought I'd do a live build, and in this case, yeah, I got this base. I got it for a couple reasons. One is because I felt guilty a little bit after interviewing Chris, because he said, do you own this? And I said no, because I really like the case that I have. I have it displayed the way I do. I like it that way. The other thing was I didn't see a lot of reason to have it at that point, but now in that video that we're doing, the last update video for the Pip Boy, I needed this. Part of the story is that he shared is that this was originally supposed to come with your Pip Boy 2000, this stand, and then they decided it would just cost too much, and you know, there was some concerns about the game when it would be released, and so they were kind of wanting to hold off, and so he kind of scrapped the project, so dropped it completely. And then he went to the big Bethesda presentation and decided that you know, he goes there and he's watching this presentation, and in the presentation they show the video that we've all seen, where it has the John Denver song play at the beginning, and then it shows he goes up and pushes the button, and out comes the Pip Boy on this stand. And he saw that and he said, wait a minute, that's my stand. And he went and asked them about it afterwards. He said, you know, hey, you used my stand. And they said, oh, we're sorry, we thought that was ours because, you know, it looks so in-world, and we didn't realize that that it was yours. And so they said, oh yeah, we should have given you some credit for that. But so the first time that you actually get introduced to the Pip Boy, it's on this stand. And there's something else about it, and that is that with the original kit, one of the big complaints that people had were these little tiny tools. They had these little screwdrivers, and people said, I don't understand, I can't build it with it. In my video, I actually said that I thought it was used just for building the actual holotape, because the holotape comes with one of these, or a screwdriver that's comparable to it. And so I thought that was the truth. And what he told me was that when they ordered it, at that time they didn't have their own factory, and so they had to order out for it. and he expected it to be twice the size of this at least. And so when they all arrived, which they arrived in bulk just before they were supposed to be shipping them out, and they were this size, and so it's just one of those things. It was just an error, but then they were stuck with it that way. And so when he released the stand, he was determined to make it different than that. And so, of course, I thought I was broadcasting, so I already opened up the package, and I opened box number 1. And in box number 1, it has the base. And this base at the bottom, it hides away the tools, which click right into this. I'll tell you more about that in a second. But here is the screwdriver, as it was supposed to be with the original Pip Boy kit, in comparison to the one that you actually got. So this is the actual one. But you'll notice that the Pip Boy kit came with 2 screwdrivers. This one comes with 1. And the reason for that is that he made it so that it switches over right here. And now I've got a Phillips head. See? So yeah, that was that piece. And I was kind of excited about that. It has what looks like the same, these are all magnetized, what looks like the same wrench, but it's not. They're bent in a different direction and have the symbol on a different side, and the reason for that is because it clicks onto here like so. And so at any rate, so this one I'm going to be able to build this kit a little bit easier using the tools that it came with. Box 2 has these 2 parts, which is the front and the back. The instructions for this, which came in this nice little envelope right over here, looks like something out of the 1950s, or it looks like it's hard to see in this light, but the color and the feel of it feels like something that you find that's from the 1950s. It's just missing the smell. They should have given that electronic smell that everybody recognizes from old plastic and electronics. Vacuum tube liquor, you know what I'm talking about, right? If it's still around. So at any rate, this is also all Chris's work. Of course, he does all these drawings, and the illustrations in this one are a little bit different than they were on the Pip Boy 2000. Also, one of the complaints I had on the Pip Boy 2000, he fixed here. The length of the screws are actually identified down below, so you know which ones you're picking from, even the size of the bolts. So, like that too. So, at any rate, I'm just still taking out some of these parts, as I'll read some of your comments and talk about some other things. We'll put this together, and in the end, I'll have something that we can actually look at. And then I'll show you how it works with my actual Pip Boy. So, the aluminum versus aluminum thing was the guy who invented it. He had 2 different fillings for it, and said both current. Pick whichever you'd like. I like the aluminium, though, don't you? So a couple of the Australians that have interviewed me and that I've worked with also said it the same way. So I'm guessing it's just mostly here that we say it the other way. I don't know. Any rate, aluminum is the proper way. I agree. Any rate, so we're on to box 3 already. There's only 4 boxes in this, so I'm already 3 out of 4 down. This, I believe, is the tube. Now, this package does not come with the newspaper, probably because they would have had to use too much of it. Here's another bag that has kind of some random parts in it of different types of screws and bolts. And then also, here's the actual speaker itself. There's a part I haven't seen yet that I'm excited to look at. Something that I didn't talk about much in the video of the Pip Boy 2000 was oh yeah, look at this. They have some things that are also hidden. Anyone that's into some of the mecha stuff, Gundam stuff, you probably know that part of those kits that makes them so great is that there's all these details that are hidden. So once when you put it together, there's all these things that you've seen and that you know are there, but you can't see when it's put together. I mean, that's pretty cool. So this part was pretty well wrapped, and it's because it has this kind of paint job on it. It's pretty cool. I like that. Silver and black. But he did something similar with the Pip Boy 2000. If you looked at the back of the original speaker that it came with, for the non-working speaker for the radio, they went to the effort of printing on the back of that speaker and making it look just like the back of a real speaker with writing on it and things. And they didn't have to do that, but they did go to that extra effort. So similarly, in this kit, look at that. So that's going to be hidden. Boy, it's so hard to get things to focus. Can you see that okay? So it has that Robco symbol on it right there. And then you have the guy talking through the speaker that was similar to what we had on the radio. And it says, a name that you can trust. And it has all this Robco things on a premium 10-watt plug and play electronics transducer, a Robco, the #1 name in quality noise. So there you go. That's the part of the speaker that you also can't see when we get this assembled, but that's the part that you won't see when I put it together. So anyway, plug and play, kind of cool. And I'll put that over here. Let's see here. Taking out my Pip Boy, fast traveling to Diamond City. And Connor says, I just ordered one of these too. I wasn't planning on it originally. I told Chris that they just made the other package too nice. Oh, this looks like parts I want to leave inside this box. So I didn't do it. Originally, as I started to take out things, and I was 2 boxes into it, I was thinking, well, maybe you don't really need to look at the instructions because there's not a lot of things to keep track of. But now, still got 1 more box, and now I've got a lot of little parts. So, I hope I finish this here. Next. Okay. So, I'm not worried about that getting ruined. Here, I'll put that over there. I have no idea what this is going to be because it seems like everything I would assume. Oh! It's the chrome grill portion that goes through the back. So this is what the speaker is going to be pumping its sound through. Pretty cool. Has that kind of 1950s bullet like on the end of the wings of a car. Anyway, so okay, got all my parts now and ready to assemble. So I'll get my instructions here. And how's it going, Bobby Gaming? Let's see. So it says, first part I want to start with is, so it looks like you do need to open everything before you start, which I wasn't sure about. I thought that the numbered boxes was because you'd follow and open the boxes one at a time, but that is not true. So it says box 3 is technically the first one I'm opening. And so, medium-sized O-ring. Do I have a medium-sized O-ring? I don't know. Maybe that's in the bag I didn't open. Alright. And yeah, unfortunately, the true thing about props, which I'll be talking more to Dan Lanigan about, is the cost. How do you balance that? How do you make a decision on some of these things? How do you decide what is going to benefit you versus something that might not, something that would have value sentimentally versus monetarily is always in question. But so here's a couple of pipes that I know where they're going, but I'll put those over there. Have some clips here. A little about the way that I normally film. So we've got one camera, which has caused me more problems tonight than when I just this live stream stuff. I'm just not used to doing as much live streaming. I usually have this camera, my mic, and those two are connected to each other, so that's how I collect the sound and as far as the front facing view. Then I usually have another camera over here or over here on the table, and then another one that's over here. And I vary the heights, and I also then do a lot of B-roll afterwards. And so I don't get to do that with this one. You're going to have to just trust me on some of the height. This is more of those pipes. I still don't see an O-ring. So, boy, that's interesting. Now, if you've already built this, and you're wanting to give me some, oh, here we go. Give me some advice. Is it in here? Nope. Not in there. Oh, here it is. Oh, man, that would have had me looking at all night long. Be careful with your boxes. Apparently, that was down there. Now, it looks like there's some other little tiny rings that are in here too. It's looking like this is going to be more complex than I thought. And we have 3 different size O-rings. So, medium sized. So there's a small, a medium, and a large. So this is the medium size, I guess. And it wraps onto here and goes all the way down to the bottom. Now if you bought one and now you're trying to watch this to see how to put it together, don't. I don't know. I'm sure it'll all work out in the end. So technically I see how it should fit, but it's not exactly sticking, so maybe it doesn't need to though. I don't know. Okay. So there's that part. Then there is it fits onto the speaker. Handling the speaker with care. Okay, you got it. Now the small side of the speaker. Boy, it almost feels like it would be better to slide it into the speaker itself, but I'm still having problems with the O-ring. Let's see. Let's go for it. Okay. And of course that O-ring is to keep it from vibrating against this plastic. But there we go. By the way, happy birthday, Thomas, if you're watching. Let's see here. What? Let's see here. Going up. Bobby Gaming says, "Hey man." Mike G says, "Nice." Apple Pie says, "Poor wallet," referring back to the purchasing too many things. Yeah, rest in peace, your wallet. And yeah, it's just getting slimmer, saving up. So your family had you pay for dinner, which costs about as much as the speaker did. That's funny. I'm the avatar, and you got to deal with it. Okay. So I'm going to assume that I did this part right, and I'm going to start screwing in my first set of screws. And apparently, okay. Oh, something I didn't do. That's what I get for not reading it accurately. So there is in here someplace. There is the wires. Handling the speaker with care. Carefully passing the speaker cable all the way through the sound tube. Note that the orientation of the tube. So how do I, with the way mine looks, there it is. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So, I want to get all the way through the tube. I'm going to straighten that out. And it looks like my my ring finally fit on the end there, so that's working. Okay. There we go. And then but I can see there's a lot of spots where you could mess up on this and then you'd have to go all the way back to fix them. So I should be reading more carefully. Of course, it's a little hard to do two things at once. Like, I wouldn't drive while you're putting this together. That would be disastrous. Either you're going to get in an accident or you'd ruin your speaker. One of the two would be a bad thing, right? I don't know. It's all good. Okay. Okay. Now, the question is, it's a 12 millimeter thread forming screw. So that when it says thread forming, usually that means it would also help to dig into what it is that you're drilling it into. 12 millimeters. I think this is the right one. I think I'm holding it right now. But I need 4 of them. So 2 and man. Started to think this wasn't the right project to do live. This is almost harder than the other stuff I typically do. That one's a different size. I think I'm supposed to have 4. So why aren't there 4? Is this... That's a different size. At any rate. Let's see here. Gabriel, can I get a shout out? Well, there you go, Bobby Gaming. You just got one, I guess. I wouldn't do that either. I wouldn't drink and drive. That's not a good combination. For a moment's phone for me and the boys making Pip Boy speakers while driving. Yeah. Gotta be careful about that. Not a good combination. Well, I'm seeing 3 screws with mine. And something tells me it's not that it was left out. I think I'm looking at the wrong screw still. So, but that's got to be them. Let's just try it. See what happens, right? Yeah, that looks like it. Looks like the wrong... Yeah, I don't know. That's got to be it. That's it. Okay. Okay, here goes. It doesn't feel like it's supposed to be going in there. Oh, man. Okay. Oh, it says 1-to-1. Is it? Huh, it's not really 1-to-1 size. The heads look... I mean, you only have so many of the heads that look like that one, so it's got to be these screws. It's silly to get stuck on just a step about the screws. Okay. There's 3. And... should I have one more. Huh. Well, is it possible? It is possible. The thread was inside of one of these. The screw got stuck inside of another part, so I didn't notice it. Now it makes sense. So there you go, 4 parts. Woo! Boy, that feels like this should call it a night right there. Alright, so now I need my next O-ring, so the bigger one, right here. And we're going to grab that end that's right here with the bullet point. I'm going to slide it on. Alright. There we go. Whoops, there we go. I think the better way to do it, the problem is I'm trying to roll it, and sometimes with these kind of rings it's better to snap them, because when you roll them you have one side that's still rolled the other way, so it's wanting to unroll itself. And so there we go. So now it's going to stay in one spot. Okay. And now I'm going to take that, I'm going to slide that onto this side, and is there a mark to indicate which way is up? Does it matter? Maybe it doesn't. Okay. So assemble the brass reflex port onto the sound tube. But before that, I have to stuff it with the acoustic wadding. Acoustic wadding? Where's the acoustic wadding? Might be another part that I wasn't paying attention to. Oh, I thought this was part of what it was packed with. This is a part that you need. Whereas in there, I thought it was packing stuff. Oh my gosh. Wow, don't throw anything out when you're doing this. That could be bad. So this is going to help to muffle some of that sound as far as the, let's see here. It doesn't say that there's a specific direction, so I guess it's fine, no matter how I put it. So I'm pulling this up. I'm going to stick in this wadding. So I'll do it like this, like that. There you go. Then this part has to go on the top, while this part goes through the bottom, like so. And then I stuff it down like this. Oh, there is a part that's supposed to fit. Nope, maybe not. Nope. Okay, just goes like that. Interesting. Alright, sound tube, so long bass reflex opening tube at the end of the top, taking care to thread the speaker cable right. Screw the two 12mm now thread screws, which have more of a hex head to them, or they look like they should have a hex head, I should say. Whoa, shoot. And got 2, 3, and 4. So got 4 of those. I do appreciate that the screws are different shapes. I mean, it's very easy to keep track of, or better, better to keep track of these than in the other kit. So, so now we're gonna put those into here. I just said that, and then it turns out that they don't seem to fit. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I don't know. It's funny that these... Oh, okay. These are different. So another difference is their threading versus their shape. So these are the ones right here, right? Yep. Ooh. Doesn't look like it's long enough to do it. Nope. No, it looks like it should be some really small ones. But where are they? Okay. Again, checking all my boxes. Checking everything. Making sure I don't have anything left over. Nope. Oh, this will be weird if this is it. Sure looks like it. Okay. Well, there's one. But it still looks too long. So there's supposed to be little tiny ones. Normally at this point too, I would have paused the video as I'm recording to go on to the next part. So let's just talk about things while I'm trying to figure this out. Let's see here. Whoa, boy, there's been a few things since then. Let's see here. The best time to make a Pip Boy Bluetooth speaker is when dry. Okay. Went to the store. What's in the box? What we're building right now, the speaker. What has coronavirus done? Entire industry. Will shipping be fine for all products of geeky things? You know, honestly, I've done pretty okay with getting stuff. What was it that I had to get before one of our builds? And in the end, it ended up... Oh! You know the thing I actually had the hardest time with, as far as coronavirus and being a geek, and this sounds weird to say, but the hardest thing was I had to... my old mask for being able to spray, which is a level of protection and filtering that you wouldn't need related to coronavirus. So why people bought those out, I don't know. And then the only places I could find them were from overseas, and so I ordered a couple, and I waited and I waited and I watched, and eventually I had to put in a claim because the item not only never arrived, but I don't know if they even ever tried to ship it. So I think there are people out there that are trying to just benefit from the virus. But at the same time, in the end, I ended up getting it elsewhere, but I tried everywhere to try and get what I needed, and the problem is that meant that I couldn't spray until I got a hold of it. I would really recommend don't spray paint. Or also, I'm going to be, doing these 3D prints to show you how I prep them, but honestly, I have a bad tendency to try to sand things while I'm watching a show or something like that, because it does take a while if you're going to do it right. And when you're sanding filament, especially filament like what I've been printing lately, that box that you saw was actually iron. So that is an iron box that I made, 3D printed. I use iron a lot now. I just prefer it. It comes out so nice and so sturdy and heavy, and it can be rusted, and it has, I don't know, it's magnetic and things like that, and so it's really great in comparison to other filaments. My second filament choice is wood because it's so easy to sand. It comes out really nice when you print with it, and so this might be a build where I just say, I guess I'll take a break from it because I don't know. I don't know if it's that I'm just missing the parts. So the next direction seems to be related to these little screws right here, which it refers to as, it says 1-to-1 component guide, which when I hold this over to this, it is the same size and the same shape the threading looks a little different, but and it says 12mm thread forming screw by 3. Okay. So it's weird because it should technically, I guess, be this, but that wouldn't fit into here, and the angle either, I don't think it would fit quite right. So it seems so strange. But at any rate, so I might have to buy that part later on. I could also go through and see what screws I have left over. So it looks like there's some other steps. I might skip over that step, which is probably not recommended, and move forward. But at any rate, so yeah, I took a break from being able to spray things. It did delay some projects I had, and now I'm just catching up with some of those, including a house-based project. I was redoing some cabinets, and the cabinets sat there forever because couldn't spray that level of stuff without having it give me a condition called blue lung, which is not something you want to get. But at any rate, it's kind of like getting black lung except from paint. And the Pip Boy Bluetooth Speaker. Yep, it is. Ever since the Nes Lego Set, I've wanted a Pip Boy set. Oh, has anyone built the NES Lego Set? Did you actually buy it? That's by nobody at all that said that. Yeah, I've heard great things. I heard as you're putting it together too on the inside, speaking of what I was talking about earlier, details that you don't get to see once when it's assembled, but have a lot of meaning, especially if you know a lot about the NES system, is there's some things on the inside that it represents, or that it's supposed to be, and you can't see them once when it's assembled. And it's just supposed to be, if you're doing the project one day at a time, I hear it's like a major reveal every day that you're doing it. So yeah, that sounds awesome. I would love to do that build. I just can't justify it. It's I don't know. There's some stuff. I have enough stuff as it is. It's another question I'm gonna have to ask Dan, is how you justify some of these purchases. But any rate, so now I'm going to actually lower the speaker into here. It says, oh, but there's some hex pieces I got to put on first. Okay. Where are those? Any rate, so yeah, I'm starting to think that I'm missing parts from my set. I hope I'm not wrong about that. I know I got to see Norm Tan try to put this together, and he mentioned he had some problems. Double checking all my boxes again. Nope, and nope. Yeah, that's more parts. I'm not sure. Okay. Oh, here we go. It's these. Gee whiz. All right. This is interesting that you're putting these in afterwards. I'm surprised it's not just part of it. I wonder why that is. So you slide these in here, and I got one more. I still haven't screwed in my other screws. I'm sure that's going to get me pretty soon, because I think I don't have any more chances. But at any rate, so yeah, that's masks for you. So Connor says, Timmy depends. I imported a Pirates of the Caribbean prop from England. Yeah, you've collected a lot of those Pirates of the Caribbean props. I remember there was a gold coin or something like that you got, right? Ripped it off and then came back an hour later and said it didn't. Oh no, it didn't go through customs. We need it back. Other things were fine. Wow, really? They asked for it after the fact, huh? And time and travel too. Yeah. The Dan Lanigan got to go onto the not only onto the sets of where they filmed Pirates of the Caribbean and visit the sites, but they actually let him get off the ride and walk around on the areas, on the ride, like, which is every time I've ever ridden that ride, going back to the 70s, when I would ride it, I would want to get off and, like, that was the fantasy, right? Is to be able to run around in the ride itself and be able to see all the stuff. But he showed that the Aztec case that was in the movie, they actually took it and put it onto the actual ride. So when you're riding through the caves, the Aztec case that you see is the one that actually was in there. And they said that when they were taking it apart, or when they were taking out the bottom, because it had a false bottom in it, so they could fill it up, they found one coin that was left over and it had a drip of blood, which made them assume that it might be the piece that you actually see dropped in the movie. But at any rate, so yeah, that coin was the thing. Oh, really? It was. That was what you were trying to import. Back opened and done with. Yeah, if I received a prop and Customs was trying to reclaim it, I would do the same. I'm surprised they came to you and tried to get it back. That seems so strange. I am officially believing that I'm missing a part. I don't think that this is the part. Even though I did force it through one of the holes, I just don't think that's the right one. But at any rate, so hope you were. Yeah. What else can I tell you about? I don't know if speaking of Customs and everything else, on the bottom of this, they say that you can't really release products without having certain warnings and things like that printed on there. And of course they didn't want that to ruin the props, so they put in all this etching around it to make it look like it was just part of the design without looking at it closely. And then they placed them exactly where they needed to, so that when you put things in, it covers them up, so you don't have to have all that text ruining your prop in the end. But at any rate, I'm looking ahead here to see if there's another part that's shaped the same as the one I'm trying to force right now. Oh, there are. That's unfortunate. I am missing a part. I'm missing some screws that go to this, unfortunately. And so that kind of means I can't go too much farther with it, which is really sad. I'll have to ask. I had to have, which, by the way, the one company's pretty great about sending parts if they're missing. I'll have to tell them. I even got it on film. They're not here. But anyway, so if you don't have a part, or if something breaks or something like that, they're actually super nice about it. As long as you don't try contacting them when they no longer make it. One of the neat things is that they have their own factory now, so that means that they can now send things directly out to the public too, so you don't have to wait around anymore for things to become available, and they're going to be doing it directly to the public, and that's going to mean good things for being able to release stuff. One of the newest products that they have, if you are into things like Star Trek, something he let slip actually while he was on our show was the fact that they were making a tricorder. It's the tricorder from the original series, and so it has this screen that pops up and it works, and kind of going back to the Pip Boy, it has all these sensors in it, and so it reads the local environment, and it'll actually do all the things a tricorder should technically, and I think that included radiation measurement, but I think they're doing kind of like what they were planning on with the original Pip Boy, was more of a electromagnetic radiation. So, at any rate, so yeah, that's kind of cool. The Orville. What about the Orville? The fact that they're going to wrap things up. You want to make any guesses? I have guesses about how Orville's going to end. There's a lot of information about that if you didn't know. There's been a lot of news kind of on two different sides, and the facts have kind of boiled down to the fact that he doesn't want to, he's just not that interested in making it anymore. It was a passion of his originally, and now he's wanting to move on to new things. He feels bad about leaving the series because he'd like for the series to continue, but he just doesn't want to be involved anymore. And so the word was that he wanted to kill himself off in the series, and then that way there could be a new captain. It could just continue. But I think everyone at this point is wanting to wrap up, and nobody has an intention to move on without him. And I think it's Hulu that picked up the Orville. They say they want to continue, and they're willing to sign on more seasons, but he's not interested. So for that reason, it's going to end. But the question is, how's it going to end? And my thought is that he's still going to, because people know that he was planning on trying to kill himself off. I bet you that there's still some way he's going to try and kill himself off, even if it's comically in the end. He's going a whole new, McFarlane's going a whole new direction where he doesn't want to do comedy stuff anymore, I think. I don't know. He has a lot of projects that are coming out that have nothing to do with comedy at all. They're very dark and serious topics. So I think he's wanting to get more into the straightforward acting. One of my favorite things that he actually ever did was, it wasn't even him that was the funniest part of it, but a Saturday Night Live skit that he was in where he's a puppeteer teaching a puppeting class, and there's 3 students, and one of them is a traumatized war I don't know what war he's supposed to belong to, but lets everything come out through his puppet, and he does. They do a really good job at it. It's pretty good. He does a great job. But anyway, yeah. So yeah, it is. It's almost hard to. I think though, when you're talking about Star Trek and other comedies that kind of came from the Star Trek idea, or that were built off of it. I'm going to back up a little bit so I can fit in the screen. Is that I just realized I can see myself on both the screen and on my camera, so hopefully I didn't just disconnect myself. But at any rate, the thing about those shows, I think that the best one was actually one that I want to do some stuff about, because in the end it turned out to be a movie that nobody wanted to make, and then became one of the best ones, which is Galaxy Quest. I think that show is a classic. It's old now, but yeah, and had Sigourney Weaver in it, and kind of trying to play a different role than she had, and she really enjoyed doing that. I think, and a lot of the effects were really well done. Mr. Imahara that died just fairly recently, he did a lot of the lighting and a lot of the sets for that. I think that Adam Savage also helped to do a lot of the special effects for that one. And there's a part from it, boy, I wish I could buy, that's on sale right now at the prop store. But yeah, if I had to pick one that's more of a true understanding of the culture related to Star Trek, I think that's actually the best one. Anyway, Anyway, Orville's more of a next generation kind of show, but so I guess the other question I can ask you is if there's anything that you want me to ask to either of the guests that we have next week, write me, write the questions that you want to ask, or put them into your messages now, because I'd be happy to ask those exact questions. In fact, I'll ask them, related to you. I'll tell them who asked the question. So feel free and do that. Like I said, if you haven't already checked out some of the work that's already out there that they've done, because I don't know what they're going to let me use in the editing, but whether it's Lori or Lori Nix or Dan Lanigan, I think you'd like it. It very much relates to our channel. Even just yeah. if you have the money for it, then props can be so cool. I like building props. I like trying to replicate them, duplicate them. There's something about the building process. There's something about the finished product in the end that I just really enjoy. I'm sure that once when I can complete this, when I get the screws for it, I might just go buy the screws to get this done. But at the same time, there's something about having something that you can look back on and it reminds you of the event of actually building it too. That's just really great. So I appreciate everyone hanging in there while I try to get things rolling tonight. Apologize for the technical difficulties. Plan to be posting pretty soon here. Any time that I do spend, it'll probably be in editing all the stuff that I just told you about that we're going to be doing. Pretty exciting projects and stuff that you'll want to hang in there for. And like I said, if you have any questions that you want to be able to ask to our upcoming guests, feel free and send me those questions. Or if there's people you think I should try to reach out to interview, tell me that too. So far, everyone I've contacted has been more than happy to do it. Like I said, it was really weird when I sent Dan that email. He's like, "Wow, this is such weird timing, or this major coincidence that you're emailing me right now." But at any rate, so yeah, feel free, update me, and keep watching, like and subscribe, and get stuff like this that you can build and share back with us. Or if you've done any of our projects, that's another little piece. If you've done some updating to your Pip Boy using some of the procedures that we mentioned in our videos, let me know, because I want to share some of what our subscribers have actually done in that final update video, and show kind of what those collaborations look like, as well as how you've improved on them. I've been contacted by people who have been able to do some of the things that I mentioned. I knew somebody out there could probably do. I just wasn't the person to do it. So yeah, if you're one of those people, let me know. If you go in to look at the About Me portion, you can find my email is in there, and I do respond to that email. So, or you can comment to me in one of our videos. I usually respond to all the comments that I get. So thank you so much, and keep watching. Look forward to talking to you again soon.